A sliver of light cut through the gloom of the old garage, catching dust motes as they danced in the stale air. It settled on a shape shrouded by a heavy, gray tarp, a forgotten monument in a tomb of time. John reached out, his hand hesitating for a moment before he gripped the coarse fabric. With a single, decisive pull, he unveiled the past. There it was, a 1967 Mustang, its once vibrant red paint now muted under a thick coat of dust. He ran a hand over the hood, the fine grit scratching against his palm, and a wave of memories washed over him. The car wasn't just metal and rubber, it was a time machine. Instantly, he was a child again, watching his father, a man in his prime, lovingly polishing this very car when it was new and gleaming. The reflection in the chrome was so bright it hurt his young eyes, and the pride on his father's face was a sun in itself. He remembered the smell of wax and the sound of his father's contented humming, a symphony of a simpler, happier time. The decision was made the moment the top hit the floor. This was more than a restoration. It was a resurrection. The journey began with water and soap, a gentle cleansing that felt like a baptism. As John washed away the years of neglect, the Mustang's brilliant red soul slowly began to reappear from beneath the grime, like a memory coming into focus. The work was demanding, a test of both skill and patience. Days bled into weeks. He spent hours hunched over the engine bay, his hands, stained with grease and oil, carefully cleaning, replacing, and tuning each component. Every bolt tightened was a promise kept. He meticulously stitched the torn leather of the driver's seat, the needle a tiny shuttle weaving the past and present together. He polished every piece of chrome until it mirrored his own determined face, a reflection his father would have recognized. There were moments of despair, none sharper than when he first turned the key. The engine coughed, sputtered, and fell silent. A wave of frustration washed over him, but it was quickly replaced by a stubborn resolve. His father never gave up, and neither would he. After weeks of tireless effort, the moment of truth arrived. The garage air was thick with anticipation. John slid into the driver's seat, the newly repaired leather cool against his skin. He took a deep, steadying breath, his heart pounding a nervous rhythm against his ribs. His hand, trembling slightly, reached for the ignition as he turned the key. The engine sputtered once, twice, a hesitant gasp for life. And then, with a deep, guttural roar, it thundered to life. The vibration traveled from the engine, through the frame, up the steering column, and into his hands. It was the car's heartbeat, strong and steady. A wide smile, born of pure joy and profound relief, spread across John's face. He let out a breath he didn't realize he'd been holding and gently patted the dashboard. "We did it, Dad," he whispered to the empty garage, his voice thick with emotion. With the sun dipping toward the horizon, painting the sky in fiery shades of orange and purple, the gleaming red Mustang cruised along a winding coastal highway. The salty air whipped through the open window, carrying the scent of the sea and the sweet perfume of freedom. John's hand rested confidently on the steering wheel, his knuckles brushing against a faded photograph tucked into the sun visor. There was a picture of his father, young and smiling, leaning against the Mustang in its glory days. The car was more than just a machine now. It was a legacy, a bridge across generations. As the last sliver of the sun disappeared below the ocean, the Mustang's taillights became to red stars driving off into the deepening twilight. Carrying a son's love and a father's memory into the night,